everyone present here. So today we are going to present on the topic the bizarre activities of thunderstorm. So to start with, what is thunderstorm? So we all know and very much familiar with that what is thunderstorm because of Sir and because of this program obviously. But before we dive into the presentation, just a brief definition of what is thunderstorm. So a thunderstorm is a type of weather characterized by the presence of thunder and lightning, often accompanied by the presence of heavy rain, strong winds and sometimes hail. It results due to the atmospheric instability typically associated with the accumulation of the clouds, where warm moist air rises and cools, result in the formation of the ice. Now this leads to the electrical charge distribution that collides and interacts with each other, leading to the formation of thunderstorm and lightning as we all know it. So now I hand it over to Chinmay for the further explanation.
Hello, hello, hello. Okay, can you hear me? Okay, so by looking to the picture, everyone can tell that about which topic or what am I going to speak. So you all can guess that is about artificial raining or cloud seeding. So this is artificial and cloud seeding. So what is cloud seeding basically? Why do we do? So cloud seeding is the modification technique used to enhance the precipitation by introducing foreign particles into the air, and which leads to the formation of cloud. Why do we have to do this? So the main reason is to address water scarcity, where there is agricultural problems. There we can also use agricultural needs and weather control. So different agents are used, mainly dry ice, silver iodide and salt powder is used for cloud seeding. Now these are the three steps in which agitation. Here the various chemicals, as you can see, that is calcium oxide, a compound of urea and ammonium nitrate, or chloride, calcium carbonate, which can be used for the vapors which are in the air to condense and form molecules. In the building up stage, here the molecules which are present in the air, they get condensed and the density of the air is increased. And then in the seeding stage, the chemicals like dry ice, silver iodide and salts are used so that the water is condensed, so that the size of the water droplets is much more high, so that they fall as rain. So here different developments and new ideas are introduced, or we can update ourselves by using new modern technologies, that is by using nanoparticles and aerosols. Like we are researching it in more depth, so that various kinds of aerosols and nanoparticles which are helpful in the cloud seeding can be used. That is drone based seeding. Here we can save the fuels and all and use drones for cloud seeding. Then AI machine, like as we know, if we know the weather, we can predict that how much air and how much cloud seeding or the rain is required for a particular region, and accordingly we can go further for it. Next is silver iodide alternatives, like the chemicals which are eco-friendly for the environment can be used in the place of silver iodide. Satellite technology, that comes under weather control. If we know the weather, we can use the cloud seeding information for optimal uses. Next is electromagnetic methods. As we have heard from Sir, various methods are discovered and researched newly, so that the waves can also be helpful in the formation of clouds. Next is microbiology, climate engineering, and as we know that international collaboration, that the climate or the weather or the storms don't have any boundaries, so international collaboration is as much as important as other aspects. Thank you. Now I'll forward it to my next colleague. Now here we saw that the aerosols and nanoparticles, so she will further elaborate for aerosols.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I'll be talking about impact of aerosol particles on thunderstorm. So the first is cloud nucleation. We know that aerosol particles can serve as cloud condensation nuclei, providing services for water vapor to condense or freeze on. This can affect the formation and development of thunderstorm clouds. Next is cloud properties. Aerosols can influence cloud microphysics, altering the size and distribution of cloud droplets or ice crystals. This can impact cloud reflectivity, precipitate efficiency, and the overall activity within the thunderstorm. Next is precipitation enhancement. Increased aerosol concentrations can lead to numerous but smaller cloud droplets, which may delay precipitation onset but enhance the overall rainfall and thunderstorms. Next, we have intensification. Aerosols may contribute to thunderstorm intensification by influencing the thermodynamics of the atmosphere. They can affect the temperature, humidity, and stability, potentially leading to stronger updrafts and more severe weather. Next is lightning. Research suggests that aerosol concentration can influence lightning activity within thunderstorms. Higher aerosol concentrations might enhance the electrification processes within clouds, leading to increased lightning frequency. Then we have the air quality, local air quality. Thunderstorms can help remove aerosol particles from the atmosphere through rainfall. This can lead to improved air quality in the vicinity of thunderstorms. Now I hand over to Nadia for further explanations.
So good afternoon everyone, my name is Nadia and I'll be talking a bit on impact of Schumann resonance on humans and its application. So this one was a very recent research paper that I got on. It was just released on March 10, 2023. Yeah, so just a small definition on Schumann. Schumann resonance is a natural electromagnetic frequency that's generated by the Earth's magnetic field. And while the research is still going on the Schumann resonance and the benefits on the humans, there are still the fact that it positively affects humans are that it helps in functioning, it helps in anxiety, stress, and as Sir mentioned, it promotes relaxation, and then again it improves wound healing, as Sir gave an example of that mouse that has a spinal injury, and that was the fact that I took this topic actually. And then again, it also helps in maintaining and balancing the stability of the earth. And again, there is a very different part of their research that it got, that the brain has, our brain has 4 primary senses that is known as safe states of consciousness also. And apart from that, the alpha state of the brain that ranges from 8 to 12 hertz, that's when harmonized with the Schumann frequency, that's the thing that gives you relaxation to the brain. And then the other study also investigated that it helps in reducing insomnia with a minimal adverse effect. Again, this is an application of Schumann resonance in other field. This was recently launched on, this was a very recent research paper made in China, that was published in July, and where this had a brief study on the CSES, also known as China Seismic Electromagnetic Waves, with the application of space-based Schumann resonance signal. So what they did, what they got to know is that the SR that can provide continuously and can provide global climatic conditions reliably, inexpensively, and also for a longer period of time. And then again, in addition to their study, they saw that it's related to ENSO, also known as El Nino, and southern oscillation phenomena, in which when the ENSO period when the warming of the eastern equatorial Pacific Ocean and slightly cooling of the western directly affects the atmospheric circulation in the environment. And that's what they got. And as a result to which they got that SR intensity of the lightning activity is significantly enhanced by the cold and warm phase. And that's what. Now Trupti will be handling. Okay.
Just a comment on this last slide. We are now in the middle of one of the strongest El Nino events on record. So this is already a record-breaking year, 2023, and 2024 is expected to be even worse. So much more warming and much more thunderstorms and lightning and additional residents.
Okay, so I'll take the topic further on, and as you can see by the topic, it's exploring the electrifying universe and Jupiter's lightning. That is what we studied today, and it was so interesting. So let us all imagine that we are standing on the surface of the Jupiter, surrounded by the awe-inspiring spectacles lighting, and dancing across the sky. So this brings us to the question, like, how Jovian lightning was discovered. So the basic information that we know is it was first spotted by the Voyager 1 mission in 1979. So that is what it is. The Juno spacecraft, the most interesting thing about this was that was observed that the Jovian lightning takes place, and which is very similar, like the step-wise way that happens on the Earth, like the lightning that occurs on the Earth. Despite the fact that these two planets are completely opposite to each other in size and structure, but both host the same kind of electrical, storms. So on Earth, the lightning originates inside the turbulent cloud, and which takes and moves in an upward fashion, where the winds lift it up and the water droplet freezes. And this was the same thing observed in the Jovian. So the lightning usually that is observed on the Jovian the lightning observed in the Jovian was, as Sir said today, it is in the middle and the higher altitudes. So it is in the middle and the higher altitudes, and it is mostly absent at the equator, which is quite the opposite of the thunderstorms that we observe on the Earth. So, so here, as we can see the question, where on the Jupiter the lightning process are primarily observed, which is similar, the middle and the higher altitudes. And here in the figure, you can see that there are the spots of the lightning that were observed in the northern hemisphere, and this was the image that was crafted from the Juno CAM image by the NASA spacecraft. So moving on further, so how does the Jovian lightning timescale compares to the terrestrial lightning? So the researchers have found out that the planet's lightning initiation process pulsates with a similar rhythm that is observed inside the cloud on our Earth, on our planet. The pulses observed on the Jupiter as flashes of lightning were initiated with time separation of about 1 million seconds, similar to the thunderstorms on the Earth. So, moving on further. How were these Jovian water clouds were initiated? The previous studies found on the Jovian lightning initiation occurs in the water and ice, and ice clouds within the specific temperature range driven by the convective mode. It is proposed that the average leader velocity in the Jovian lightning are similar to the Earth's lightning, as I've stated before, with the lightning channels extending in the steps of several hundreds to thousands of meters. And the charge transfer that takes place during these steps is expected to be smaller than that of the lightning in the Earth. The most important point, the Jovian lightning initiation is suggested to occur at a larger spatial scale compared to the processes preceding cloud to ground lightning on the Earth, but it shares again similarities with the initiation. moving on further, uh, yeah. So, as Sir told about the sprites and elves that were, observed on the Jupiter, this is the image of it, and this is the basic artistic illustration, and further. And this is the image that the south pole of the Jupiter and a potential transient luminance light event is annotated by this image that was acquired like past 2 years before on April from the Juno's ultraviolet spectrogram. So the Juno mission was found or suggests that the sprites or elves could be dancing in the upper atmosphere, but it is the first time that these bright unpredictable flashes of light transient luminous event were observed. They were observed on the higher ups of about 186 miles above from the Jupiter's lightning, which was emitted by the hydrogen spectra. So, moving on further, so this is again a different image where in the figure A, the map it's a map of group of JDPs as a vertical projections of the Juno position on the first bar level, where we can see the dark circles or the black circles. Or a group and different is the blue circles are the rapid whistlers and as the projection of the magnetic fields. So, and the orange circle displays the previous published positions of the rapid whistlers. So, moving further, so we come to a conclusion where it like having a keen interest in astrobiology and space physics basically makes us think what are the potential implications or understanding the electrical phenomena in the atmospheres or a gas giant planets in our solar system such as Saturn, Uranus, and we know other stuff like what can be studied on them too. And as Sir has explained today, several things about it. So, and another thing that we comes up or ponders us is could there be any similarities in lightning rhythms between the Jupiter and Earth, which we now know can be found in the exoplanets beyond our solar system. So this brings us to the question, and I'd like to end it and keep it this as a question to all of us. There, like life can be there on any other planets or found or not. So yeah.
No, but she's right. I forgot to mention it in today's talk that actually there was a paper published in 1976 by Carl Sagan and a astronomer and Sir Peter, and they hypothesized that life may exist in the clouds, inside the clouds of Jupiter and Saturn. They drew all kinds of very strange creatures that may be located in the clouds. But we know that we can find life in clouds on Earth. So potentially this was also discussed in the paper on Venus that I mentioned today about the discovery of atmosphere. So there may be life forms that are located in the clouds, inside the rocks, or on ice. So yes, I like the last sentence, perpetual fascination for the human intellect. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So, ending with some of the fun facts about the lightning. So far we just have three, but I'm sure that there will be many more. We have just jotted down just 3 points on it. So to judge how close the lightning is, count the seconds between the flash and the thunderclap. Each second represents about 300 meters. Thunder is not only heard during thunderstorm, it is uncommon but not rare. To hear the thunder when it is snowing. So I didn't know about this, it was kind of new. Okay. And last but not the least, lightning does not always create thunder. In April 1885, 5 lightning bolts struck the Washington during a thunderstorm, yet no thunder was heard.
So I hope that there will be many more, but just we jotted down only 3 points, and that's it. Thank you.
Who's next?
Hello. Okay. I think this should be enough. Can you hear me? No, I'll do it. Can you hear me now? Okay. So, okay. So I'm sure some of you might be familiar with this classic memes that we all Gen Z are here. We know what memes are and we kind of have fun. Yes, Gen Zs and elder Gen Zs. Okay, so this is basically some memes that we all might be familiar when we are with our phones and laptops on at night, not able to sleep at all. So yeah, have fun with this. This might be something funny, but so yeah, but this is funny. But there is this one condition which is not really funny, which is called as insomnia. And as a scientist, she and I, we wanted to dive deeper into a actual paper and actual conclusion as to how insomnia can be treated or therapized. So, well, instead of like, in spite of all the memes, insomnia is not really hilarious. It's basically the definition where you have difficulty initiating sleep and maintaining sleep, and then you get a lot of stress in the daytime. So this may be the definition of it, and it can be caused due to stress, anxiety, poor sleeping environment, lifestyle. As we all know, our lifestyle is horrendous, honestly. But yeah, shift works, consumption of caffeine. I do a lot, so yeah, and it may affect our sleep at night. It may decrease our daytime functions, like we sleep during, presumably sleep during lectures, maybe, and we get fatigue, we lose attention span, and we have impaired social, academic, and occupational performances. So basically, insomnia, as we say, we have just generalized it a lot, but it's a really worsened psychological disorder that we see in today's generation. Let that be screen timing, let there be environmental changes that is happening in the world globally, and treatments which are available. Not in India. The cognitive behavioral therapy is too expensive in India, where they tell you how to conduct yourself, how to decrease the sleep time and all. There is a behavioral therapy. Then we have a very specific drug which is used for insomnia, and there is non-invasive treatments also which is used. Other than that, so now the question arises, how is insomnia related to what we learned in the course? Which is very, very essential because, well, I'm doing this presentation for the course. So, there was this paper which was published in June 8, 2022, fairly recent, which states that there is a non-invasive treatment from Schumann resonance which can actually help improve insomnia, to help decrease insomnia basically. So we dived deep into this paper. I loved it. It was very fascinating for me. So I asked her, "Can we do this paper?" So she just readily agreed to it. So yeah. So they basically, what they did is they accumulated evidence from throughout. First is your Schumann, who reported Schumann resonance A, and he said that these are the peaks which is related to the ionospheric propagation. And then Guionen and others also found a significant positive association between geomagnetic activity and systolic and diastolic blood pressure, which is really fascinating. And Birch and others also found there is an increasing geomagnetic activity with elevated 60 hertz of magnetic frequency, which actually decreases the melanin proportion, which tends to insomnia. So, accumulating all of these reports and evidence, they actually suggested a study where they took 40 participants, which were not different from each other, and they did a double-blind study with a control group as well. So they made, okay, by the way, this paper was published in Taiwan, and so there was this device which was invented, which used Schumann resonance, and this was given to the SR sleep device group, and the other was basically placebo group, where the frequency was not emitted. Now she will continue with the mechanism.
Am I audible? So basically they took 40 participants from the age group 15 to 50, same race, no much differences. It was a good, like the sampling was very much accurate. Then these subjects who faced insomnia or had some kind of sleep disorders, they were asked to use the device which they had developed, which is the Schumann resonance device, which basically resonates the Schumann frequency. And they were asked to use it 1 hour before going to bed, keep it near them throughout the sleep. Even if they wake up throughout the any time between the sleep, it needs to be kept on, and it needs to be turned off or switched off the next day in the morning when the study participant is going to get up. And the duration of the study was for 4 weeks, and this needs to be repeated every night before going to sleep. So they used 2 types of measurements for the sleep. One was the objective measurements, objective sleep and subjective sleep. Objective sleep takes into consideration the values, numerical ones, considering the polysomnography, ECG, EEG, different kinds of leads. And subjective ones are the diaries, maintaining a diary. Then there's a self-rated questionnaire called as Pittsburgh Sleep Quality Inventory. Then a sleepiness scale, analogy, and then there is a 36 questions questionnaire, which tells about the quality of life using this device. So there were 2 groups, one which used the device and one which was the control, which were given a placebo device for the placebo effect. So this is the analysis. Talking about the objective measurements, here we are so there are a lot of measurements which they took into the consideration. Thinking of what everybody can really relate to is sleep onset latency, which means how quickly a particular person can sleep or fall asleep, and total sleep time. So there was a reduction in sleep onset latency. This is the SR group, in which we can see the initial pre-treatment or pre-therapy, that the values are around 26, which actually reduced to 17 post-treatment, and in the placebo it's almost same, 23, 24, not much of a difference. That means the sleep onset latency reduced, the participant could fall asleep much easily. And the increase in total sleep time, TST, which has increased from 415 to 428 in the group, in the participants, and in the control it is almost same, not a very much increase, but then since it is a placebo, we have a placebo effect that something is working on us. So not a major difference, but in the participants, you can really see from 415 to 428 there's a increase in their total sleep time. Then talking about the subjective measurements, Here also, total sleep onset latency and total sleep time were taken into considerations with the help of their sleep diaries, and there's a questionnaire. So all these platforms were taken into consideration, and there is increase in the SR sleep device, and in the placebo there's not much of a difference. And also the quality of the sleep and the sleep duration was increased when they were using the human resonance device. Then this is the questionnaire, 36 question questionnaire, in which they take into account the physical function, the energy level throughout the day, their mental health, their social functioning, if they have any kind of a body pain. All these questions, all these basic things were taken into consideration, and they can see that there is improvement in all these parameters when they were exposed or to the sleep device. And both the groups showed sleep satisfaction, the ones who were exposed to and the control ones. So it is bit of psychological too. And discussion.
This is a bit of hazardous situation. Okay, so basic discussion is there was decrease in SOL, sleep onset latency, which was observed. There was increase in sleep efficiency, so people slept better instead of having insomnia when they were exposed to 7.83 hertz, which is human resonance. And there was increase in day energy levels. People were more energetic throughout the day, might not sleep during lectures, possibly. Then there was increase in TST, the total sleep time, increase in sleep quantity and duration, and total sleep satisfaction. However, the sleep satisfaction was also observed in the control group. This might be because of the placebo effect, might not be. More experiments are to be carried out for further conclusion. Now, the thing is, this paper was very recent, and they did not actually perform a mechanism, to find out the mechanism, they did not actually perform an experiment yet, but they gave a two plausible mechanism. One is that we all know that brain waves might actually get in resonance with the ELF waves of Schumann resonance, and that might be the reason why they can combat against insomnia. The other, which can be, is EMF can be related to human melatonin metabolism, which we know is used as a drug for sleep, to induce sleep. So this might be a reason, but then as she mentioned earlier, there was this placebo group, and also if you can see behind, the REM sleep, so there is not much difference between the placebo and the control group, and this is an objective study, not a subjective study. So objective is when you put leads on it, and subjective is when you are given diaries to keep. So this has to be a little more conclusive as compared to the subjective study, and we found that there was not much difference in REM sleep. It might be because the duration was only for 4 weeks, and melatonin might not have a major effect in that 4 weeks of experiment, or a small sample size. My theory, which I hypothesized, I'm not sure about it, but if you see that 7.83 hertz, it comes under, in the brain waves, it comes under a theta wave, and so, and which is like a light sleep. You get light sleep when you are under theta wave, and then when the deep sleep, which is the REM sleep, it comes under much more lesser hertz, which is about 1 to 3.44. So I was hypothesizing maybe that's why there was no significant difference in REM sleep. I am not sure, it was just a hypothesis, no conclusion. Makes sense? Okay. Okay. So yeah, this was the experiment, and I found it really fascinating because it is bridging the gap between physics and biology, which actually we should do. We should collaborate a lot between two different spectras. Sometimes biology is looked down upon by physicists, I feel, but it shouldn't be the case because at the end we are all humans and we have to make sure we survive for further explorations. So yeah, this is like, and I was just in awe with how Schumann resonance work, and we had spoken about it at length. So yeah, this was one of the experiments that they did, and it had a very positive effect. So maybe they'll perform further, or maybe we'll perform, or maybe we'll invent a device where we can all sleep at peace and not have anxiety and stress, basically. So thank you all. It's been a long day. Let's pack in as much sleep as we can, shall we? Yeah, thank you.
so diverse. I learned new stuff from you. This is, I think, the result of a good interactive kind of course. So I enjoyed teaching you. I hope I aroused your curiosity to a new field and kind of showing you that we are electrical creatures. Nature is electrical and produces atmospheric electricity both in fair weather, the ions that I spoke about, all those effects on human health and human state of mind. And of course, the lightning aspect is a perpetual curiosity from ancient times, even until today. So many open questions for research with wide implications to climate, to human health, and well-being in general. So it was a pleasure teaching you. I hope you learned from me, and we will be in touch afterwards. And that's it. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your academic career, and I wish you all the best. Thank you very much. Yeah, I will just sign everything.
So we'll be handing over the certificates to you. I'll just say your signature. Let me formally propose a vote of thanks, not a long one, but a very short one. So Yoav, thank you very much for coming for the second Gyan course and the first one after the lockdown. So he's always been the first one, whether it is in 2016 or 2023. Thanks to all the participants who have very actively participated, and I saw the way you responded to through your presentations. Thanks to the university authorities for letting us conduct this course, and the administration. Thanks to Shruti. Shruti is not here right now. Thanks to Mr. Bangre, Shruti, and everyone, the non-teaching staff. They are the backhand support, but without them, we can't run the show. So I hope you have given your feedback. The feedback can be positive, the feedback can be negative. The negative one will help us improvise the course. It will not be taken otherwise. So thank you once again, and we'll hand over the certificates to you. I believe in no formal inaugurations and no formal closures, but I'll request you all to hand over the certificates as I call the names, and if I can request someone to click the pictures
Yes.
when we are Sarita. So the first one we have is Nikhil, the only male participant.
Well, you remain. There are two boys in the room.
Okay, signature. So, yeah. So, yeah. I think you stand again. Sarita, light भी लगा देना.
Good.
Should I take you also? Okay. Okay. Nadia. Priyanka. Kashmira. Karishma. Janvi. Gargi. Gargi. Chinmaya. Gauri. Gauri is on chapter. Didn't know the left. So I think Vidhi. Srishti, Srishti, we have 2 certificates for you because the Y of the Chakrabarti was. So you tell me which one you want. The Y is. So I'll give you the one which has your name completely. So Srishti. Okay, we are done, and is there? No, I think we are done. So let's have a group picture, and then before we depart, Instagram, Reel.
Instagram Reel. You have to do Instagram Reel.
For okay, okay. No, that's okay. Be with the thunder and lightning. हाँ पहले एक group picture ले लो. We'll have a group photo so that I can complete the rest of the formalities till then, and then you can continue reeling.